Hello, hello, hello. How does my mic sound? Talk to me. Someone from my team, please let me know if you can hear me. And I already did an intro, of course, and I don't think my mic was on. So if someone can let me know, that would be great. And also, if you are a student and you can hear me, are you ready for week 2? Did you do the week 2 homework? Let me see. Okay, good, good, good. Oh, my chat is a little slow. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You all have been telling me over a minute ago. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the AMCI 16-week YouTube course, week 2. This week we're going to talk about infectious diseases. We're only going to talk about ICD-10-CM for the next I guess 6 or 7 more weeks. And then we're going to move on to CPT. So let's get started. Coders, did you all get your homework done? Go ahead, let me know in the chat. I want to know what you know. And also, this helps me pace. It does. So, oh, I didn't say hello to everyone. I said hello to everyone when my mic was off. Let me do it. I'm going to say hello first to the person that was here first. Miss Star Wars girl. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. That's our intern. Thank you so much, Mr. Sandeep. Miss Haley, I see you. I also see, let's see. Okay, I don't see. But I will greet all of you. Coders, welcome to week 2. Let's get to, yeah, you were here a little early too, Lucky. All right, let's get going. All right, so because this is just the second week, I'm going to review the purpose of this class. For if this is your first time, and also if it's your first time, let us know in the chat. Let us know. Okay, the purpose of this class is not to instruct. No, it's to hold you accountable. Yeah. So we want to guide you and make sure that you are, kind of on pace to finish, right? Some of us need that. We want to be more accessible to you to answer your questions. Also, I'd like to review what you should already know so that you can pace yourself and you can know, like, hey, I'm on the right track. Also, want to give you tips on how to navigate your course and point out key guidelines. That is the purpose of this course class. All right. So somebody had a good question. They said, which playback are you trying to? Oh no, that's Miss Haley. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll let you answer it. All right, so we got some announcements. These announcements are similar to the previous week. Just want to remind you that we meet weekly at 12 noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And if you're registered, we will send you a weekly email with the class links. So it's a good resource. So definitely take advantage of it. And want to remind you on Mondays, we have the guideline mastery classes. So next Monday, Miss Haley will be bringing the neoplasm guideline instruction. So get in there, get in there. I'm telling you, it's going to make you that much more proficient. So take advantage of it. Also on Wednesday nights, that was last night, we have interactive medical terminology and anatomy and physiology, or IMTAP. So you can attend IMTAP in Discord. All right, so you do have to be a YouTube member to be in Discord or take advantage of it. So definitely do that. And it's fun, exciting, right, Mr. Sandeep? Tell them. Okay. Also, we have the 2026 MCG. It is available. It is an ebook form. So go ahead and get it. Also, to the people were purchasing the 2025 MCG. It was on back order. It is now in, and those are going out this week. Yes. So that was really quick. So just want to get that information out. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll try and answer, or the team will. Also, just want to review how to RSVP for this class. Well, from your syllabus. Yeah. You can register from the syllabus, you can register from the email that we send you. But from your syllabus, you can just, scroll down and find the RSVP links there in weeks order. So this is the second week or week 2. And it's that simple. So you click on it, it will take you to this screen, and you just down below click on this notify me button, and you should be here. All right. So if you have any questions, go ahead, type in the chat. We are here. In terms of the textbook on your syllabus, and if you don't know, I'll just tell you again that the syllabus is on our website, www.amcicoding.com/YouTube course, and you can find it right there. And also, there is a link for you to register officially for the YouTube course. It's just good to register because you will get a certificate of, we can't verify that you've completed it, but we can verify that you enrolled. So if you need that, we can give you that. If you are in the gold course, you do get a certificate of completion, because they, not gold course online, the one where you purchase the online, and that enables us to verify that you've taken the course. We have a record. So you do get a certificate of completion. So just thought I would tell you that. But nonetheless, here are your textbooks in order. First, you'll need the official CPC, you'll need the official ICD-10-CM guidelines, right? And we give it to you. So you just click there. Also, the Bucks step-by-step medical coding textbook, only the textbook. You can click here for it. We recommend not getting the new one to save money. So 2023 through 2026, it's your preference. Also, the ICD-10-CM professional or hospital. We recommend the hospital by Optum, and I'm going to show you why. Again, we recommend hospital by Optum. Those two books are the same. The biggest difference is the hospital has specific indicators that are going to help you, whether you're taking the facility or the professional exam. And I'm going to show you in a moment. You just click here, and we're allowed to give you all our Optum promo code. They gave us permission to do that. And we said, hey, we have students on YouTube, and there it is. This is our promo code, and you get up to 50% off of the books. Yes, they are less expensive, much less, in my opinion. You can also get the CPT manual for the reduced rate. You can get your HCPCS level 2 and AMCI MCG manual. No, there isn't a discount. The biggest discount would be if you got the previous year. If you get 2025, there is a discount, of course, because 2026 is more. And there are some changes, but if you already have the MCG, do not purchase it. Don't save your, if you need to save money, don't purchase it. If you can spare the extra, go ahead and purchase it. We did make updates and changes, but if you want to save money, you can do the updates yourself. Okay? Okay. So someone said, is the Optum better than AAPC? Hey, if anyone has an AAPC manual, let me know, because I'm going to ask you if you have a specific indicator when we come across it today. So I can't say it's better. I can say it's better than the 2025 because AAPC had not made those adjustments. But if they do, then, hey, we can, stick with AAPC. But I'm here for you. That's it. I'm not here to line anyone's pockets, not even AMCI's. Nope. All right. So Discord. There's some classes in Discord. We know that oh yeah, there is a class called Test Taking Anxiety. That's in Discord. So too is IMTAP, Interactive Medical Terminology and Anatomy. Yes, they're in Discord. So you got to get in there, right? So what you do is you got to be a YouTube member. Many of you already are. Then after you become a member, you click there, then you click the settings, locate YouTube because you got to connect your Discord and YouTube. And once you connect them, you just follow the prompts. That's it. Now, if you have a problem, let us know. Oh, by the way, there was a problem last week. Discord notified us and said, hey, your YouTube channel got disconnected from Discord, so you got to reconnect it. So it bumped everybody out, but you all should automatically be placed back in. If you have any problems, contact us. Just go to our website, www.amcicoding.com, and press the contact button. And this link here this is your syllabus. Again, we're looking at the syllabus. This link right here, this will also put you in contact with AMCI. I'm going to take a moment to see if anyone has any questions. I'm going to go down and I'm just going to say hello to some of you. I wish I could say hello to everybody, but Miss Brenda, how are you? Brenda W. We have Cynthia. We have Joey C. The Carrie C. All right, and if you have questions, go ahead. I'm just trying to slow things down just to make sure I see you. And hi, Ms. Mills and Corey and family. Hello, hello, hello. Somebody's having problems, definitely reach out to contact AMCI Coding, okay? All right, so someone said they have the AAPC. I'm going to need you to help me out. I'm going to look for you, Kay Angeles, to look for a specific indicator next to the code, and I need you to say if it's there or not, okay? Thank you. All right, I'm going to move on. Don't forget, all of this information is on your syllabus, and so too is this. This is what you should have completed for week 2. Now, I know it's a lot, right? You could some people just don't have the time and some people do, but this is what you should have completed. And I want you to tell me if you did or not. Go ahead, type in the chat. This will help me. It will help me with my flow. It'll help me know how to go. I'm rhyming. Type in the chat. If you didn't, it's okay. Somebody say, hey, they're still catching up on week 1. I get it. And then we have a couple of days. There's a weekend, so you can kind of catch up there. But I would just say, just try and, come to class no matter what. Come to class because you're still going to learn. Okay? Somebody said they did. Outstanding. Somebody said almost. Way to go. All right, everybody. Here we go. So the people that have the gold course, yours is already outlined in your LMS. So everything that you need should be in the same order. So it should kind of match your syllabus with a few extras. We have put some exams in yours because we have to measure your aptitude to give you a certificate. So yours is like this. You just kind of from module 2, week 2, go on down and follow the lessons in order. Now, what should you already know for this week? Well, in preparation, you should know specific coding guidelines on infectious diseases. Specifically, you should know HIV guidelines. Not know, let me change that. In fact, it says be familiar. Be familiar with HIV guidelines, sepsis, MRSA, MSSA, COVID, and Zika guidelines. That is 5 specific categories, right? So infectious diseases has got 5 specific categories, and that should be your indicator whenever you have a scenario and it's any of these diseases, these category of diseases, you know that there's a potential guideline that you need to be referencing. All right? And that's going to be true for every week, every chapter that we review. When we review that subject, just know there is a guideline or potential guideline that's applicable. Now, we're going to go ahead and test your knowledge. Okay. Good job. Someone said they don't have their book, but they're watching the playbacks. That is perfect. All right, got a question for you. If a patient presents with fever and cough and the provider documents that the patient has suspected COVID-19 test pending, can you assign U07.1? And if you did the homework, you would know what U07.1. This is COVID-19. This is when someone has been diagnosed with COVID-19. So I'm seeing those responses in the chat. I am just satisfied that you're answering. I don't care if it's wrong or right. I just want you to have the courage to just put your answer in and know that no one here will judge you. Okay? We used to keep our chats private all the time because we really, really value, um, people feeling comfortable. But right now, I just need you to trust that every single one of us has been in your shoes, every AMCI instructor, every AMCI intern. So you got to get it wrong sometimes to get it right. And the answer is, like you've all said, no. Only confirmed cases of COVID may use U071. Okay, so just make sure you know that. That's a key guideline. All right, now I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, but not too much. When is B20 not sequenced first? Go ahead, type your answers in the chat. When is it not sequenced first? Miss Star Wars or Star Wars girl, you said or asking where they can locate last week's for this class. Are you talking about the playback? That's good. Zumbo girl said when they are pregnant. Outstanding, outstanding answer. And I just thought I would um say that because it's specific. Mine isn't as specific. All right, so just to let you know, the playbacks are on your playlist. So when you go to your syllabus and your homework, you will see last week's playback in the week 1, right up underneath the week 1 playback. So you'll see week 1, week 2, week 3, and last week should be under week 1. And if it's not, let me know. All right, good job. All right, so this is when, oh, I love it. Somebody said when it's not confirmed by the physician. You guys are on fire. Here's my answer. When the reason for the encounter is unrelated to his or her AIDS diagnosis. That's one. But I did say yesterday that I would change this. When the reason for the encounter is a reason other than the HIV AIDS. I think that is so much better. So if it's something other than the HIV AIDS, let me fix that. I thought I did. So when you talk about pregnancy, right? It is other than HIV AIDS. The reason for the encounter is the pregnancy. But generally, if it's something other, like if someone breaks their leg or something else, and the pregnancy is incidental to that encounter. Great job, everyone. All right, put your answers in the chat. This is true or false. If an HIV/AIDS patient had symptoms previously, but has not had any symptoms in the last 10 years and HIV is undetected upon testing, that patient is now asymptomatic. True or false? Is the patient asymptomatic? True or false? Hi, Case. I see you. Good job. Excuse me. Good job, everyone. You are just flying in that chat. Outstanding. Good job that you answered. I'm not saying if it's, correct or not, but I just want to say hi, Laura S. Revan, Joey, Zomba girl, you're on fire. I love what you're saying. Amber, True Luck, Corian, Divvy, outstanding. All right, the answer is false. It's false. And somebody said it. Zomba girl said, once you go B20, you're always B20. I'm going to let that marinate. Do I need to explain that further? I think that's enough. Once you are B20, you're always B20 because the virus never leaves your body. Even though it's undetected, it's still there. You all are on fire. Okay, when is Z21 used? When is Z21 used? Go ahead, type your answers in the chat. Go ahead. And I know some of you are like, what are you talking about? Do you know these? Why should I know these codes? They should be familiar to you. And if you need to look it up, quickly, just turn the page and see what it is. But you will. In time, you will. Especially if you go to the guidelines classes on Mondays. You will. You're going to see the same codes over and over and over. Good job. Good job. Good job. Patricia, Francois. Who else is in there? Lucky. You know what? I'm just moving a little slow today. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. When the patient has tested positive for HIV but has no symptoms ever, has never had symptoms, never asymptomatic. Now, we're going to talk further about these symptoms, these HIV symptoms, a little later. Now, I got another true or false. When a patient has an HIV related condition, you always sequence the HIV related condition first. True or false? What say you? Welcome, new member. We got some new members. Liliana, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so knowing this answer, you have to know the guideline. Like, we can't really process this. We can guess and say, yes, this is correct, but it's actually false. And the reason is there is a specific guideline that says you always sequence B20 first whenever a patient has HIV and an HIV related condition. We're going to kind of take a look at a scenario a little more closely so that you can see how that plays out. So great job, everyone. Great job. Now, got another one. I think, is this the last one? Maybe. True or false? Suspected Zika virus is coded as Zika virus. True or false? What say you? Hi, Robin. How are you? Welcome, welcome to class. Hi, Patrick. Karina. Patricia. You guys are rocking. Okay, Amber. Cangeles or Cangelas. Let's go. They're putting those answers in the chat. And the answer is false. Absolutely. You do not code suspected Zika. This is practically the only guideline that we have in Zika that you really need to understand or know. The doctor has to confirm Zika virus. Okay? And that's true with COVID and HIV. All right. Oh, I guess this isn't the last one. True or false? When a person is diagnosed with sepsis and they also have a related organ failure or dysfunction, the sepsis becomes severe sepsis. True or false? What say you? All right. Those answers just rang through, and I tried to give everyone a chance, and you all are amazing. And you said true. Absolutely. There's no explanation needed. If a patient has the organ failure in the setting of sepsis, that sepsis becomes severe. Yes, that's right, Miss Star Wars girl. They are killing it. All right. So, the moral of the story, which is also my sidebar gem, there are infectious diseases codes that you should know on site. And had I told you that ahead of time, that would have kind of made a little made your process a little more easy. I just realized that, so I do apologize. But you need to know the following on site because it will give you an advantage when you're taking your medical coding exams. So B20, you just got to know that. There's some things we just got to recognize. So that's HIV AIDS, and specifically, it's HIV with symptoms. Z21 is HIV without symptoms. U07.1, this is COVID-19 confirmed. A41.9, this is sepsis, but the organism hasn't been specified. So this is kind of the generic sepsis code. And R65.20, this is the severe sepsis. You code this in addition to the the organism, and it's never sequenced first. But you should be able to recognize these on site. Again, time advantage when you take that exam, indeed. Now, someone asked a question last week. They said, "Hey, how do I know where to look up these codes? How do I, research them or these guidelines from the MCG manual?" So what you do is pull out the MCG manual, go to the table of contents, and just go in order. It's pretty much outlined ICD-10-CM, and then you'll have PCS and then CPT. So under ICD-10-CM, just look for your subject. If it's HIV/AIDS, click that and you'll see the guidelines. So it's that simple. And let me know if that helps. Now it's time for a challenge. Now, these are scenarios that we're going to review. All right. All right. Of the following, now I want you to answer this question without looking in your ICD-10-CM manual. All right. So we did kind of review some of these, but I need you not to. If you need to, go ahead. Don't not do something that you're not ready to do. So do it if you need to, but if you can, don't look it up. Let's answer the question without. Of the following, which best describes the encounter? A, B20, B, Z21, C, R75, or D, Z11.4? A 42-year-old male presents with fatigue and weight loss. The provider documents HIV positive status, no symptoms are documented, and not on antiretroviral therapy. Go ahead, type your answers in the chat. All right, so you all are doing an amazing job. A lot of you got it correct, and some of you are going to have an aha moment, and those are wonderful. And we know why, because they're priceless. All right, so what we do, if this is your first time here, we inventory. So, inventory means writing down the diagnoses, signs and symptoms, any procedures or treatment. So, in this, and we do it in the order presented. So, we have a male with weight loss, fatigue first, weight loss, and then the provider documents that the patient is HIV positive, but there are no symptoms and the patient is not on medication. So, I want to take a moment to clarify. Some people say that fatigue and weight loss is a sign and symptom of HIV, being HIV positive. That is correct. But in the context of HIV, I want to be more specific and classify these signs and symptoms as indicators. These are indicators that point to or suggest or are related to HIV. They are not signs and symptoms of HIV. Now, I'm going to explain very soon why they are not. Because HIV have symptoms and signs that are specific and they call them HIV related conditions. That's what they're talking about. HIV related conditions. I don't want to be confusing. But let's just call these indicators for now when we're talking about HIV. So these indicators are related to HIV, so we're going to get rid of them. And we are going to note that there are no symptoms and no medication, and this patient is HIV positive. And when they are HIV positive without symptoms, they are asymptomatic. We just learned that. So I'm going to look it up. Asymptomatic means without symptoms. A means without and symptoms. But the reason I looked this up is because there's a section here where it says it excludes these codes, these conditions. So using Z21, you cannot use Z21 for any of these conditions. So I like it because it defines what B20 is. So because we're talking about B20, this is acquired immune syndrome or AIDS. So this patient doesn't have AIDS. Also, the R75 inconclusive lab, that's not the case. This lab was conclusive and the patient was diagnosed. And this Z11.4, this is an encounter code for HIV screening. So that's not correct. And all of you were correct. It is Z21. And I just want to remind you that asymptomatic means the patient never had symptoms, ever. If they did even once, it's B20. So if you said B, asymptomatic, outstanding. And I agree. Great job, coders. That's right. So I'm teaching it like really basic. It's going to make sense in a moment. Now we got another one. Of the following, which should be first listed? A, B20, or B59? B20 is HIV/AIDS. B59 is pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia, or we're going to call it PJP. B, B59, this is PJP and B20. C, Z21, you know it says asymptomatic HIV, along with B59, which is the PJP, and finally, only B20. A 39-year-old female with AIDS is admitted for treatment of pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia. The patient was hospitalized and treated with IV Bactrim for 21 days, after which time she was discharged. And I'm reading slow because I wanted to give you all an opportunity to, answer the question and get them rolling in the chat. And I see them rolling, 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 rolling. And this was one of the true false questions. So if you remembered, then you should it should jar something to get to, kind of lead you to the answer. Good job. All right, so a lot of you got your answers in there. And when you have time, like you're waiting for other people, go ahead and say why it's correct. Or you can even say why something can be eliminated right away. In fact, I wasn't planning on this, but I'm going to do it. On site, we can eliminate C. Anybody know why we can eliminate C on site? Asymptomatic HIV and B29 pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia. Why can we eliminate C on site? And if you don't know, say, I don't know. Don't say nothing, okay? Because it'll help me. Good job. Good job, Zumba. Good job, Kia Rochelle. You know what she said? You can eliminate C because asymptomatic HIV and pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia or symptoms can exist in the same encounter. Exactly. Asymptomatic means you have no symptoms, but B59 is a symptom. This is an HIV related symptom. Yeah. So you can't have both. You can't have a symptom and be asymptomatic. So we're going to get rid of it. Now let's go ahead and do our due diligence and inventory. Number one, AIDS. That's what the patient has. The patient was admitted for PJP, right? And even treated for the PJP. Bactrim is a treatment for that type of bacteria or virus. Bacteria. All right. So they treated the PJP, but there is a guideline when a patient has both AIDS and an HIV related condition, then you're going to have to sequence it as follows. And so what I did, I went to the MCG manual and I searched and I looked for the guideline for admitted for HIV related condition. And I look to the right and it says when a patient's admitted for a HIV related condition, you're going to sequence first B20, followed by that HIV related condition. Now you all might say, how do we know if it's an HIV related condition? Well, in this first column, we gave you some common HIV related conditions, but it is not a complete list. So you can kind of tell. So if you see Kaposi sarcoma, lymphoma, this pneumocystis carinea, the PCP, the PJPs, the thrush, toxoplasmosis, cryptococcal meningitis, cytomegalovirus, etc., you kind of know. But don't you really, really want to know? All right, K. Angeles, I need your help on this one. Can you look up B59? So we're looking at B559 from the Optum 360 hospital manual, that ICD-10-CM hospital. And right next to it is sitting an HIV indicator. This means that this is an HIV related condition. And when you see that HIV related condition, you know that you can apply the HIV related condition guideline. And you know it's an HIV related condition. You don't have to figure it out. So this is one of the reasons why we prefer Optum, because of these indicators like this. So Cangelus, can you tell me if it's in your AAPC manual? In 2025, it was not. So I'm gonna wait for her to kind of give us that information. Or if anyone else has the AAPC manual, please look up B59 and let me know if it's in there. And team, if you can look it up, if you all have it, please let me know. All right, so if we know we have to sequence B20 first and the HIV related condition second, we can get rid of some things. Of course, we're going to get rid of that C because it's just wrong. We already established that. And then B, we're going to get rid of that because it's not sequencing the B20 first. And D is not sequencing the HIV related condition at all. So that answer is A. All right, so coders, she hasn't responded. She might be a little busy, but I will get that information and I'll let you know. But for now, I do know that Optum does have these HIV related condition indicators. All right, you all okay? Ready to move on? Well, I just want to share these gems. Remember, when a patient has an HIV related condition, code B21st and Z21 can never be coded with an HIV related condition because an HIV related condition is a symptom. So that's what we learned. All right, so do you have the indicator, Cangelus, next to your code in your book? And that's correct. What you're saying, that is correct. But let me know if you have the indicator. All right, so if you said A, outstanding. A lot of you did, and some of you said something else, but that's priceless. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Of the following answers, which best describes the encounter? Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute, and I was just made aware that the AAPC book does not have the indicator, so the decision is yours. So if you want to put it next to it, if you have the AAPC manual, go ahead and put it next to it. HIV. All right. Here we go. Of the following answers, which best describes the encounter? A, A41.51, R65.20, N17.9, B, N39.0, A41.51, N17.9, C, A41.9, R65.20, N18.9, D, A41.9, N17.9, N39.0. A 68-year-old female is admitted with severe sepsis due to E. coli urinary tract infection. The provider documents the patient has related acute kidney failure also. Look at those. You all are rocking and coming through, coming through. But I am going to wait. Also, too, coders, some of the students are moving faster because they've practiced more. If you're newer, it's going to take you you're going to be a little slower, which is natural. And trust me, by week 5, you're going to pick up if you do the work. You do the work as outlined, you should pick it up by week 5. And also want to remind you that the playback will be in your playlist from your syllabus, the playlist, and you can rewind and solve these scenarios at your pace. So don't feel like hey, she's going too fast, but we only have an hour. So I want to make sure that we stay within that time frame. Yes, if you have time, let us know why you selected your answer. Thank you, Miss Star Wars girl. Oh, it's okay. Somebody said, hey, they're driving back home from a trip and they can't answer. You just be safe and hopefully I keep you awake. I'm going to pump myself up so I can, you know, not put you to sleep or bore you with my voice. Yes, in the playback. Make sure you watch the playback. All right, here is my inventory list. Severe sepsis, due to, I always put due to next to it, and right underneath, E. coli urinary tract infection, and this patient is diagnosed with an acute kidney failure. All right, first thing I would do, I know sepsis has guidelines because it's one of the five, right? So I go to sepsis and I got to figure out what subject is this pertinent to. So if I don't know, I just scroll down and I found this sepsis in the setting of an organ dysfunction because that is what happened. We have sepsis and we have an organ dysfunction, that acute kidney or renal failure. So this is correct. So I'm going to go to the right column and see how it should be sequenced. And I need to do first either the underlying systemic infection, that's if they give us the infection, or if they don't, we'll use A41.9. Second, we'll use R65.20 because we have an organ dysfunction. It gets bumped up to severe sepsis. We just learned that this is severe sepsis. And then the third sequenced code will be your organ dysfunction, right? And if we know that, we can eliminate something on site. If we know that this is the correct way to sequence, you can eliminate something on site. And we can eliminate that B because B is not sequencing that underlying systemic infection first. No, but A, C, and D are. In fact, on site, A is very specific. This code has more specificity because 5.1 indicates specificity, whereas 9 after the decimal indicates non-specific. So coders, did our physician specify the type of systemic infection? And you know what? They did. The systemic infection is the E. coli of the urinary tract. Yeah, so they did. So let's do our due diligence and let's look up these codes. If we look up A41.5, this is the code for sepsis due to other gram-negative organisms, specifically sepsis due to Escherichia coli or E. coli. This is indeed our code, A41.51. Okay. And A41.9, this is the code for sepsis unspecified organism. We know this is not correct because the doctor specified the organism. So let's go ahead and get rid of the codes that are sequencing A41.9. Boom, boom, we're getting rid of them. And just for our due diligence, if you look up N30.9, this is for cystitis. This is not even our circumstance. This patient doesn't even have cystitis, so we're going to get rid of it. And N17.9 and N18.9, the difference between the two. N17.9 is the code for acute renal failure or kidney failure, and N18.9 is the code for chronic kidney failure. So our patient doesn't have chronic. The patient was diagnosed with acute. So we're going to get rid of the N18.9, and that's at C. And the answer is A. And a lot of you got it correct. And Zomba Girl said, hey, she got rid of C and D because it's coding for unspecified organ dysfunction. Okay, way to go, way to go, way to go. All right, now I just want to kind of show you something. Even if you don't know these guidelines, let's say you just don't know the guidelines, these instructional notes will help you. If you look up R65.2, this is severe sepsis, it tells you what to code first. It says code first the underlying infection, right? Yeah. So that A4 1.9 or that A4 1.51, code that first. And then it says use an additional code. Whenever you see that additional code, it often means code it after it, right? So code extra your acute kidney failure. It's right there. Look at that. It's telling you how to sequence. So be, don't be fearful to read these instructional notes. I would say get in the habit of reading them. It will be your friend. Whatever works for you, use it. Use it to your advantage. So all of you said A, outstanding. And I think that you kind of got it, but hopefully I hope I gave you some more context to help you just, solidify and substantiate why you are choosing these codes. So remember, here's a gem. Sepsis in the setting of a related organ dysfunction is severe sepsis. Boom, you all got it. Yes, Lucky. Yes, you did. Now, I want to show you this. I'm always saying, hey, do not do the blind process of elimination. And some of you might say, well, what the heck is blind process of elimination? I don't know what it is. I'm going to show you. All right, on the right, we're going to take this same scenario and you'll only see the answers. And on the right, this is the blind process of elimination, either rules or theory. Number one, don't read the scenario. No, don't read the scenario. Number two, you only look at the answers. Number three, the theory is you're going to select the answer based upon the structure or the structure and how many of these codes match. So when they match, the one that has the most matching codes is likely the answer. All right, I'll show you. I probably can show you better. All right, so we're going to get rid of B. And the reason we're getting rid of B, because it sequenced first N3 9.0. And A, C, and D, both, they kind of, A41 is kind of in the ballpark, but A4 1.9 at C and D, that's pretty much spot on. So we're also going to get rid of A for the same reason. A4 1.9 is sequenced first. So that is the position, your first listed, not first listed, yeah, first listed. Your first listed code should kind of match another code. Now, at this point, between C and D, the answer that has the most matching codes related to all of the codes will be your answer. So you can match them throughout the other. You can use all of the codes when you're trying to determine how many codes match. So C's got two matching codes because A4 1.9 matches with D. R65.20 matches with A. So there are two codes that are shared. Now D, A4 1.9 matches with C, but N17.9 matches with B and A. And finally, this N3 9.0 matches with B. So there are three codes shared. I kind of want to stop to see if you all are following me. And if you need me to repeat anything, I will. All right, somebody had an aha moment. Okay. All right, so because C only has two codes that match or are shared, D is going to be the correct answer, right? So D is the answer. If we use blind process of elimination, D is the answer. And this is the exact reason why I say do not use it. While blind process of elimination might work 80% of the time, it is highly effective. That 20% of the time is too much. It's too much because specifically if you're following guidelines, sometimes it doesn't work at all. It does not work. And we know because we just did this scenario that A is the correct answer. So you would have got that wrong. So that's why you should not use the blind process of elimination because of the high percentage chance of getting something wrong. And here's the biggest reason. This medical coding certification exam is supposed to measure mastery of guidelines. If you're just looking at these answers, are you really measuring your guideline mastery? I'll tell you what, you'll get the shock of your life because you won't have guideline mastery and you'll go to these jobs and take their pre-hire exams and you can't do them. You have a difficult time because you don't know um, guideline. So my advice, study the correct way, learn your craft. AMCI students, you don't see AMCI students out there saying, I can't find a job, I can't find a job. No, we have students with AMCI students where English is their second language and they've worked at some of the best companies in the United States. So you cannot tell me that that doesn't have anything to do it. So if an instructor is teaching you this, they are only teaching you to blind process of elimination and you all can fill in the blanks. So don't do it. Don't even put it in your repertoire. It's a waste of time. All right, so I think I've got two more to go and we might go over, but if you can stay, please do. All right. Of the following answers, which best describes the encounter? A. J12.82, U07.1, B. J18.9, U07.1, C. B97.29, J21.82, and D. U071, J12.82. Coders, you should remember what U071 is. Yeah, we reviewed it. So hopefully you do. A 51-year-old male is admitted with pneumonia due to COVID-19 confirmed by a positive PCR test. The provider documents COVID-19 pneumonia as the final diagnosis. So just to kind of speed things up, I placed my inventory list there and go ahead, type your answers in the chat. You all are rocking. Joey Coder said he had an aha moment before. That's what I'm talking about. Someone asked, is this for advanced coders? Yes, this is for people that have already completed the work. So this is kind of review. This is not like, they've been doing this for a long time, but I'm saying advances. You've completed the beginners and you've completed week 2. So this is not foreign, right? So we're review. Great, great, great. Everybody's putting those answers in the chat. That was a great question. And if you are a beginner, I'm going to ask, let me see. You know what I need you to do? I need you to find the beginners link. The beginners, and it's on your syllabus. Click on the beginners. It's at the top. So it says, hey, if you haven't completed the beginners, click this link. All right, I gotta go. You all are rocking it. You don't need me. You don't need more time. Some of you don't. All right, so what I did, I went to the MCG manual and I found the applicable guideline. Of course, I went to the COVID-19 section to see if there's any guideline that will direct me. And guideline G1CI, coronavirus infections due to acute respiratory manifestations of COVID-19 pneumonia. Okay, so acute respiratory manifestations of COVID-19 pneumonia, that's exactly what we have. We have pneumonia due to COVID. And so what do? I'm going to look in this third column and it says you're going to sequence first U071, second J12.82. This is your guideline. Why are you just kind of taking a cheat way? Well, that's what you should do. It's telling you how to sequence it. You're going to sequence COVID first, then your pneumonia. So we're going to look at the answers. Which one is sequencing COVID first, followed by the pneumonia? Well, A is not sequencing that pneumonia first. B is not. C is not. And it's D. That's your answer. Outstanding job, everyone. Outstanding. If you have questions, go ahead, type in the chat. And we're going to just go ahead and drop that gem. Remember the diagnostic category that have guidelines. So if you remembered that when you see, hey, COVID, start thinking about, okay, let me go grab the COVID codes and see which is applicable. Outstanding job, everyone. Okay, this is our last scenario. Let's do it. Of the following answers, which best describes the encounter? A. J96.00 U07.1, B. U07.1 J96.00, C. J12.82 U07.1, D. U07.1 R06.02. A 34-year-old female presents with acute respiratory distress and fever. She's tested and confirmed positive for COVID-19. The provider documents acute respiratory failure due to COVID-19. Okay, coders, what say you? All right, for the sake of time, I'm going to go, and you all are rocking it in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've got inventory, acute respiratory distress, fever, COVID-19 positive, and the final diagnosis is acute respiratory failure due to COVID. And I'm going to my MCG and I'm looking for that guideline. But before I do that, I'm going to get rid of any indicators that are related to diagnoses on this list. And I'm going to get rid of acute respiratory distress because that's an indicator of acute respiratory failure. Failure is more severe. Also, I'm going to get rid of fever, and I'm just going to leave COVID-19 positive, and I'm going to leave 3 and 4. Now I'm going to go grab my guidelines. And before I get to the answer, I just want to tell you what guideline we will not be using. We will not be using the guideline for acute respiratory distress syndrome. No, this is not a syndrome. In order to use this code, the doctor has to specifically state that the patient has acute respiratory distress syndrome. Just thought I would point that out. Now let's move on. And I like this acute respiratory manifestations of COVID-19, acute respiratory failure, very specific. And then I'm going to look over in my third category. It says sequence first, your COVID, followed by your respiratory failure. Then I'm going to peep over at my answers, which answer follows this metric or this pattern. And we're going to get rid of A because it does not. It's sequencing the respiratory failure first. We're going to get rid of C. It does not. And also D. It does not. Only B is, following this first and second sequencing rule. So B is the answer. And it is that simple. And yes, the MCG manual does make it simple. It does kind of guide you. I'm sorry, let's go back. I do want to say, I'm just getting a little too ahead of myself. I just want to say the answer is B. And if you got that correct, Outstanding. Look how COVID spelled, COVID. Look how GPT spelled correct. And look how they spelled outstanding. But I left it. We're going to talk about that next time. That's one of the rules for, in the latter weeks when you get to CPT, I'm going to say, hey, do not use chat to create questions. Oh my goodness. All right. So if you learned something, that is priceless. Priceless, priceless. All right. So here are the final words for next week. This is your homework. Just make sure you complete week 3 neoplasms. Complete all of these if you can. Do what you can and come to class. Right? That's all we can do. And gold course members, follow your course, follow your LMS in the order presented. Do what you can. That's it. I'm not telling you nothing else. That's all you can do. All right, remember, this class is not for instruction, but augmentation. Number 2, you don't have to remember guidelines. Just remember that they exist. Right? Those 5 diagnostic categories. There you go. Use Quizlet to study the guidelines for neoplasms. Never use an encoder. Never use blind process of elimination. The 2026 guidelines will always take precedence. So if you say, I haven't, if you say, hey, your video, which was made in 2025 on the playlist, it's 2025, you might say, hey, your video says this, but my book says that. Always go with the higher year, okay? And there you go. And also that Practicode, complete it after you pass your certification exam. Do not do it before. It could be a distraction. It could be overwhelming. It'll be overwhelming for me. And lastly, go to a Monday night group study. She's going to talk about those neoplasm guidelines. So go there. It's going to help, especially if you're a visual learner. You're going to have a great time at it too. All right. And don't forget, and don't forget IMTAP. That's next Wednesday. I'll send you all the links in your email, so make sure you check it. And I just want to thank my team. Thank you, Miss Mills. Thank you, Mr. Sandeep. Thank you, Miss Haley. Thank you, Miss Star Wars Girl. This is anybody else here? Is Case here? I don't know if you're still here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, coders, for your amazing questions. Now, I want you to use that survey. Only a couple of people. Team, can you put that survey in the chat? Only, I think, a couple of people filled it out. That helps me. That helps me. So please, and I'm just going to thank you in advance. If you have questions, put it there, or just let us know how we did. Let us know. Let me know. Am I on the right track? Does it help? Let me know. Is it helping? If it's repetitive, I want to know. All right, so that's all I have. I just want to say thank you, coders, for being amazing. And we're going to see you next time.
4,000 exam passers and free classes at AMCI. Learn to code straight from home or on the road at